Welcome to the final culling. Hi, this is Garage Geek. So, in the process of eliminating 40 albums that I've reviewed over the course of 5 months down to 20, we're at the stage where I asked the YouTube community to vote. So here are the results. Here we have the votes made by the vinyl community. I know this is hard to see. Don't worry, I'm going to zoom in. I just wanted you to see it overall. First, we're going to look at the legend. These are the YouTubers who voted in order. So then, as we scroll out, you can see who voted for which song, and there was a clear winner. So when we zoom in here, we see that Sturgill Simpson was the win with 6 votes. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and see who was eliminated. So we can see that Sectile was eliminated, and Oyvind Holmes and Head and Heart. Are there any others with no votes? Okay, so those are the 3. Sorry, Sectile, Oyvind, and Head and Heart. The VC has spoken. YouTube has spoken. Now we're also going to eliminate all of the ones with only 1 vote. And that would be Willie Nelson. Vinyl Richie, you were probably right. It could have been because of the clip that I included. That's my fault. So then we're going to move up to At the Gates. Sorry, At the Gates. You have been eliminated. That one makes me laugh. Oiron, you've been eliminated. Crowbar, you've been eliminated. And Bruce Springsteen. So now we have a problem because we have ties. So Sturgill Simpson is obviously the number 1. Okay, so Sturgill Simpson is number 1. At second place, we have 2 songs with 4 votes. Let's zero in on those. So Johnny Winter and him are tied at second place. So that's 3 down. Now, which songs got 3 votes? And there are 2 of those. So that would be Roger Eno and My Dying Bride. And then we have a tie at 4th place with all of the songs that got 2 votes. And that would be Grant Hart, Hymn, Nocturnus, Cathedral. It's hard to get that 4 in there. And Cynic. Now, I'm supposed to get it down to only 10, but that's a total of 12. But because of the way voting turned out, I can't get it down to 10. Oh, wait. We forgot one up here. Straubs also has a 4, 4th place. All right, so there are 12 total. 12 total. Supposed to get down to 10, but we have 12. And we have a clear winner with Sturgill Simpson being number 1. So there you have it. The YouTube community voted. And as you're going to see near the end of the video, there are some major differences. I want to do a special shout out to 3 YouTubers who took part in the voting who weren't in the initial VC40. So the first is Larry's Library, who runs a comic channel. It's really been fun interacting with him over comics. David's Horror, who I've got to know a little bit through the Miss 80s Santa's gift exchange. Oh, and the third one took part in it. Sorry, that's my mistake. But I want to give a special shout out to Beardy Red Pirate, who told me that he actually listened to all of the songs on Spotify, in my Spotify list, before making a decision. So thank you for going above and beyond to do the voting. Now you're going to see my top 10 list. I'm going to go through all 20 and eliminate 10. And because Vinyl Richie likes it so much, I will do the same thing with the X video. So here are the top 20. Now, as you can see from the video, they're not in the same order, but we're going to go ahead and eliminate the ones using the red crayon. I'm going to go along the top row. They all are there until we get to Oiron. Sorry, Oiron. My Dying Bride. That's a sad one. ABC. I actually thought that one would be in the top 10. Johnny Walker. Is that his name, Johnny Walker? Johnny Winter. Sorry, Johnny Winter. Roger Eno. Oh, that was a pretty song. Sectile. That gives us 2, 4, 6. So now we're going to go to the last row. Unfortunately, the argument is out. Him is out. And that brings us to 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yep. And the last one by Cathedral. You're small anyway, so. There we have it. We are left with the top 10. Now let's take time to honor the final 10 and the YouTubers who recommended them. Here are the final 10. So first, we have Square the Circle with 2 albums, Oyvind Holmes and the Strawbs. Next, we have This Is Music with Cynic, Sam St. John with The Head and the Heart. Next, we got Beardy Red Viking with At the Gates, Aquatic Records with Bruce Springsteen. Who will be number 1? Let's take a moment to honor the fallen VC. So coming in at number 10 on Casey Kasem's countdown is Oyvind Holmes. Thank you so much, Square the Circle, for recommending this album of infectious European, I don't know if this is called power pop, but whatever it's labeled, I really, really enjoyed it. At number 9, we have a beautiful slice of Americana from Sam St. John. This album overall needs to be heard, and this song was just one of many standout tracks on this album. Coming in at number 8 is the amazing sludge metal. I think I'm a big fan with Cathedral and Crowbar, although they're very different, and also to some extent My Dying Bride. I heard a different side of metal, and I think that I'm really into it. So I really want to thank This Is Music and Aquatic Records with Captain Ron, especially the latter, for introducing me to Crowbar, The Fear That Binds You. I really think all of you out there should watch that video. Coming in at number 7, we have the only instrumental to survive this process and make it to the top 10, which is strange because I really love instrumental music. Now, Earth was a big surprise for me because it does sound very classical in nature, but then again, it's also very sludgy and doom metal. It's a kind of a bridge between the two, and it really works. Number 6, we have Willie Nelson's Phases and Stages, Walkin'. Now this one was difficult because there were a lot of really, really good songs on this album. And I didn't think that I could like this album as much as I like Stardust or Red-Headed Stranger, but this album certainly grew on me fast. This is a really solid album, and the track that I picked was just one of the standout tracks. So you really, even if you don't like country music, you really should give this album a try. At number 5, we have Cynic with Adam's Murmur. Now, this song was so infectious to me. It was so infectious that in my video review, I actually did a sing-along. Coming in at number 4, we have At the Gates with Blinded by Fear. Now, this was the dark horse. Everyone expected me to eliminate this song, but I knew from the beginning that this would make it at least to the top 20. This song showed my biggest growth in the area of music, and for that reason alone, I think I needed to include it. This album was very, very difficult for me to listen to. As I stated in my video, I had a lot of trouble, and it was like Beardy Red Viking pushed me off the edge of a cliff into the heart of this metal. And I was forced to listen to it over and over again. And then after a while, something suddenly clicked. So after leaving the album for the review and then going back to it, I found that I suddenly really liked it. And I was able to relate with it more. And I actually had 3 standout tracks from this album that I whittled it down to 2, and I actually asked a few people out there to help me, and Beardy Red Viking was one of them. I was like, I don't know which one of these to choose. They're both really good, and he helped me pick the one that he liked better. So I'm very glad that I'm learning more and more about this genre of music that I've always stayed away from. And in the next year, I look forward to delving deeper into that genre. Now we are down to the final three. So coming in at number 3 is a prog rock masterpiece by the Straubs. This song takes you on a journey. Where it starts and where it ends are two totally different places, and along the way you're going to get prog noodling, as it's called. The singer, to me, sounds amazingly like Peter Gabriel, and that is not a bad thing. This song does what a prog rock song is supposed to do, and it does it really well, and it does it beautifully. I want to thank Square the Circle for introducing me to this prog masterpiece. Coming in at number 2 is the track that I'm going to get the most hate for, and that is Bruce Springsteen's karaoke version of Do I Love You? Indeed I Do. Now, most people dismiss this album. This is the kind of album that I gravitate toward. I just like these kind of albums. And I also like how infectious this song is. Every time I hear it, I want to start dancing, and I absolutely start singing along. It is catchy pop at its best. Bruce Springsteen's Do I Love You? Indeed I Do is my number 2 song. I want to thank Embryonic Robot for reviewing this Bruce Springsteen album and even letting me know that it was out there. And for having to put up with all the hate along with me in reviewing this album, which none of that matters to me because I review albums that most people throw away anyway. And that leaves us with the number 1 song. Of all 40 albums that were recommended to me, the number 1 song from all of those albums is by Sturgill Simpson. Remember to Breathe. This song would get stuck in my head. I would just randomly start singing it. It's got this darker quality to it that brings about a kind of fantasy life. If you actually start thinking about it, it gets in your head. It's poppy, it's gritty, it's driving. It's a number 1. And I want to take this time to really thank Chris from Record Talk for recommending this stellar album. And I also want to take the time to apologize once again for making him listen to the Misty Moods Orchestra. I still laugh when I think about that. I'm not saying I don't love that album, but I realized later that wasn't the right pick for him. And there you have it. There's my top 10. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and watch them all in order. And then I'll be back after that. So the last order of business before we go is let's compare the VC vote versus what I ended up with. In top 10 place, Oyvind Holmes was number 10 for me, was eliminated with 0 votes. The 9th pick was The Head and the Hearts I Found Out. That was also eliminated with 0 votes. Number 8 was Crowbar. That got 1 vote, which would also eliminate it. Number 7 was the instrumental by Earth. That got 2 votes. Willie Nelson was eliminated with 1 vote, and that was my number 6. Cynic stayed in with 2 votes. The Strawbs was in 2nd place, but it was my number 3 list, but it was in 2nd place with 4 votes. My number 2, Bruce Springsteen, was eliminated with 0 votes. And my number 1 pick, Sturgill Simpson, was also the number 1 with the most votes of 6. Thank you all again for joining me on this journey and watching all 5 of the videos and taking part in the voting process. And just know that Garage Geek is out there. He is watching your reviews. He is asking for your permission, but he's recording you, and then he's listening to the albums that you recommend, and then he's giving his feedback. Because if I had 40 in 5 months, then that means I'm probably going to have about a total of 100 albums to review in 1 year. So let's make that a goal. Let's say 100 albums to review, and for 2023, we will go through the top 100. Thank you again for your support.